on multiple topics. Some of the topics that you'll see are the intersection of NFTs and DeFi, what DeFi can learn from traditional finance, or the venture capital landscape in DeFi right now. And so these are, we're hoping, very helpful and educational material for you. And again, on multiple topics. Some of the top, and we'll share the Airtable calendar as we kind of get that organized, and we'll be able to do that today. Now let me hand things over to Sahil and Lee, and they'll discuss how to engage with our team, all the things that we have planned to help you be successful, and also challenges and prizes. Lee, Sahil?
Hey, everyone. Good to see everyone. Maybe I'll get started with a couple points, and then definitely would love for Sahil to jump in. So I think two topics that we want to cover. One is on the engagement, how to work with you guys. Thanks for everyone, for almost 60 people for jumping into the session this morning. And then the second thing is we can talk about some of the prizes. We're very excited about how we set the prizes up, some of the follow-on grants to our ecosystem partners. So we'll talk more about that. But we, as Peter mentioned, we have a couple of tools. We have our Discord group. That's our long-running Discord community where you'll find everyone. We're organizing it so that teams can meet. You can ask us questions. You can jump in and form teams with other people who are interested in a hackathon. So it's a very good way to get some real-time with everyone who's participating. And on this call, I won't say the links. I think Peter will post them everywhere. So you'll have the links ready for you in writing. You can click on easily and join the community. And then we have the Airtable, where teams can actually meet each other, see profiles of other participants, see ideas and individual participants. And then we have the Harmony Forum, which is our long-running research forum where we actually post about everything, but there will be a special section for this hackathon. And there will be one post for each track. There are 12 tracks for the hackathon. And then teams will actually ask teams to have check-ins with us 3 times throughout the hackathon every 2 weeks, where they're going to post what they're working on, their updates. And that's a good way to kind of see what everyone's doing, what help you need, and where the progress is. And then I think, that'll be most of the engagement. Maybe I missed 1 or 2 things, but I want to also share a little bit about the prizes and how it's structured. So as you guys know, it's $1 million hackathon. We're actually, it actually will end up being more than that if all the challenges are met, if all the grants are fulfilled, and all the partner challenges. So there are 12 tracks from the Harmony team that are broken into 3 themes. So the 3 themes are cross-chain with our trustless bridges. So any kind of cross-chain application, middleware, building even our bridges, making them better, building new bridges to additional ecosystems. And then those are the subcategories within cross-chain with bridges. The second theme is our secure on-chain wallet that we're very excited about. And people can build front ends, you can build tools, you can build integrations for that wallet. And then the third theme is fiat connection with fiat products. And so we're actually also very excited to see some new use cases that impact beyond just crypto. And there'll be some sub-challenges under that. So within each of the 3 themes, there are 4 sub-challenges that are all written on the GitHub issue, on the homepage, in our forum. We actually write it everywhere. So those are the challenges. And what's interesting is that not only, at the end of the hackathon, right, the judges will judge and give prizes for those 4 themes, but half of the prize is reserved for follow-on grants that will be in the next 4 months for projects that achieve specific milestones, including mainnet launch with 1,000 users, getting external funding, and getting actually a DAO set up with participants, with active users. So we're very excited not only to actually give out prizes, help people complete amazing projects through this hackathon, but there will be 4 months of afterwards where it's actually each of the track will actually manage the prize pools themselves in a multi-sig. So we share a lot more details about that, but we can talk more about that. I feel like I'm going on, but I'm also very excited about the fact that we're partnering with Dora Hacks, which so everyone should submit their projects in Gitcoin, but also working with Dora Hacks, there's going to be community matching for your project. So say you might get a prize from the hackathon itself, but our community can actually fund your project. And there's a network of about 60 venture capital investors in the crypto space who are looking at the top community funded projects. And so they may actually invest in the top projects. In fact, I know that in the past, they've all like the top 5-10 projects almost always get some investor interest or investment as a follow on. So I think, we're creating basically this holistic like ecosystem, full funnel that you can all participate in, and launch goal is not just to finish the hackathon project in 6 weeks, but also to launch that you can carry on for maybe months, years, however long, and be very successful. So that's our main goal for the whole event.
Awesome. I think Lee covered it pretty well, shared some of the, main ideas I wanted to share. But I think we'll follow up with more details on how you get started this week. But 2 things that I can share, for you to remember. One is that we encourage you. This is the first time we're trying to get, Web 2 meets Web 3, traditional finance meets DeFi, right? So we encourage you to actually proactively look out for team members to fill up those skill sets or those areas that you would like to have in a full complete team for your project. And I think we're going to share more details on how we will help you with that. There's going to be Airtable links where you could, if you already have an idea, you can put up that this is your idea and let everyone else see and reach out to you in case you want more people in your team. And people who just want to join an existing team, there'll also be a sign-up form for that. We'll share all these details, but we definitely emphasize that, in the next 3 to 4 days, we set you up for having the best team, because it's going to be a 4 to 6 week journey, and we want you guys to feel like you have a complete team to launch a real product. So that's the first point. The second thing is what Lee mentioned. We are inviting you to come to this hackathon with a mindset to build for solving, real pain points. We have some tracks and themes which give you some direction of, products that are relevant in crypto, in fintech world today. So use that to your advantage. But importantly, think of deploying something which can go to mainnet, hopefully, and you would like to probably launch as a real, product or company. And I think we are going to do our best to give you resources, funding, as well as support from the core team in getting your apps across the finish line. So that's something that I would definitely encourage. We've done a few hackathons before, and we've loved the amazing spirit that developers bring in. But here, come with a more ambitious goal. Can you launch a company out of what you're building, or can your tool create impact for thousands of people in the ecosystem, right? And I think that's something that we really aspire for in this hackathon. And the cool part is that throughout the next 6 weeks, you will find us on Discord, on our discussion forum, which is talk.harmony.one. And that's a place where you can keep on chatting with any of the core team members or the extended community. So two things that we're going to be caring a lot about is you guys having a great team in the beginning. So this entire week is for that. And second is, how can we launch your whatever you build on mainnet so that it can be put to real use after the hackathon ends. So yeah, that's a little bit, but you can tell from our voices we're all super excited to get things started. And we will be there along with you.
Awesome. Thanks, Sahil. Thanks, Lee. Before we go to Stephen, I just wanted to echo again, I have nothing else to add to what Lee and Sahil said, other than I want to echo what exactly they said that I think is super, super important, and something that I think Steven's going to mention in his presentation, in his keynote presentation shortly. We're thinking of this idea of like building wealth on Harmony, and it's not about wealth, but it's about like building and owning your destiny on Harmony. Meaning that can you create something on Harmony that can actually make your life better, make other lives better, and help you support yourself and your family. That's really the vision for what we have for this hackathon. That's why we want to emphasize making sure that you grow your team, you build your team in the right way, have the right team members, you attack a problem that actually adds value to the ecosystem in some way, launch it on mainnet, and we have a venture partners, Harmony itself, and then as Lee mentioned, the Dora Hacks kind of consortium of venture partners that can help you with some additional seed funding so you can be successful and grow users for your application. That's really the kind of end-to-end vision that we have, and we want to see every application that is submitted in this hackathon to launch on mainnet, grow users, and massively grow the Harmony ecosystem. Because guys, if you are successful, then Harmony is successful. And so that's why it's really, really important that we do our very best to support you, and that we help you kind of see the vision for this hackathon. And so with that, I think Steven is going to present right now and kind of share about the Harmony vision, kind of our roadmap, and some things that we have coming up. Steven? One sec, let me ping him. I think he is on his way. He was on earlier, and then he said he had to eat breakfast with his kids. So, which is like really admirable, right? So, one sec, everybody.
I think while we wait, Lee, do you want to?
Yeah, we can
on the forum that you put.
Oh, hey, Gloria.
Hey, there's also a question.
Yeah, we can.
Do you want to just answer that real quick? Okay, cool. The question is, do you see it from Ryan?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Already traditional TradFi to DeFi for engagement existing. Yeah, so I think definitely very excited for people who are already having a traditional finance business, have built products before to actually come into this hackathon. Whether it's your current roadmap or a new product that you're thinking about, definitely I would encourage you to participate. And just submit your project, Ryan. We'd love to hear more about your project, and message us in Discord. I think all the questions we can answer very easily, whether it's in Discord or in our forum. Our team is one thing to mention is our team is not just us, but a couple of people also on this call, whether it's Give or Jack. I saw a few people earlier. Sorry if I didn't mention you, but our team is here and ready to support everybody and make sure you're successful, both on the technical and on the business side.
Maybe I can share really, maybe add some additional context to that. Lee's right. Like we want to see all types of applications. There are a couple of rules that you'll read on the Gitcoin page. Every application that's submitted needs to have its own public GitHub URL, and we're also requiring a video presentation of your submission. And if you are submitting something that you've already been working on, we do want to see, to make it fair to all of the other kind of participants, please indicate exactly how if it's a prior submission that you've used for other hackathons, et cetera, we're okay with that. But if you're submitting it for this hackathon, please indicate exactly kind of what is different and additional stuff that you might have created for this hackathon. So that's kind of important, and that just adds an element of fairness to all the other submitters and projects that are being created from scratch just for this hackathon. And so we want to see how your submission is going to be different from like a previous one. And so that's just one piece. Thanks, Stephen. Awesome. Go ahead, take it away. Really quick, Gloria, do we need to hide ourselves, or Stephen has a presentation?
Stephen should be able to present, but if you want to hide yourselves, that will just give Stephen the whole focus.
Okay.
All right, everyone. Morning. So excited to be here. So they really want to welcome all the builders, but also our community to make this happen. So I'm going to talk a little bit about not just about the hackathon, the themes, but really the roadmap for the next 6 months, 12 months, to tell you why not only you come, but hopefully you'll stay and actually build together as a community, as a platform. I have a few slides just to really get it started. I wrote out as a whole article. I really want to keep telling the story for the next few weeks and months to tell you really why our community is different, but most of all, why we really want to ask the builders to think about what can be the future that you can build today. So let me start with some slides so that you guys know some of the point that we have been trying to emphasize. You guys may know a little bit about Harmony already, but we want to give you an overview about art, but also where things are going. We have been thinking about the protocol and the platform and what will be the technical that you guys can count on. We always know that building a scalable platform is not just a 1 year or even a few years of work, because what we are doing is something very different, something called uniform scalability, uniform scaling. You have more users, you add more shard to it, it will immediately give you more performance and more capacity. It's what Ethereum 2 and many of the people that actually take some of the deep research thinking into this to make this happen. We've been building it for 3 years to think about, can we come back to even 1 second, sub-second finality that transaction can actually complete, but uniformly. The second large direction that we will be going is, can we bridge to all chains? We've been building trustless bridge. That means it's an on-chain contract to be on Ethereum and even Bitcoin. But there are so many bridges that we need to think about. Binance Smart Chain, Polkadot, and with our partner Terra as well. That will really boost the ecosystem when many of the DeFi, the NFT on different chains come on board. We started a few initiatives that have like a great start already with our partner Sushi with 4 million mining campaigns, and we just broke the 100 million cross-chain asset, so that you understand that there are research that we're bringing to the table, there are traction that we have today, and there are still a huge potential to think about, not just as a base platform, not just think about one bridge, but to bridge to all chains. We have a strong community with like wallets and applications that can support whatever application you build here. But today, the big topic is to think about how to help each of the project that you come on board to be the DAO that will become with a strong community as governors, as well as how to engage them with NFT that we want to tell you the story about. But let's think about the hackathon first. We know that actually strong incentive this in blockchain is not impossible, but how to align them and how to think about bringing more builders to the space rather than just trading and incentives for mining is what really build value among all of us. So we know that even though it's a very big incentive of 1 million, how to think about themes, How do we build the same thing together? How do we enforce the infrastructure and the components that will actually for years to be meaningful is what we are thinking. Not only we bring so many judges and friends and fellow project onto becoming part of the workshop and panels and judges with you guys and helping you guys to launch really a cross-chain effort with everyone. But we're breaking it down into three themes so that you understand where the whole Harmony platform will be positioned as, but also what are the opportunities in the blockchain space. In particular, we know that DeFi, NFT, DAO is hard. But what can you build today that is different from in the market? We want to work with all the blockchain project. So we have been homing in the cross-chain and the bridge narrative so that you're not just building on one platform. It's not about Bitcoin or Ethereum being the perfect system. It's how we all work together. I'm not going to go into the technical part today, but the concept of trustless, that some smart contract that can verify on chain and obviously all the transaction, how bridges is compared to roll up. We spend lots of research as well as product effort to tell you the story as well. So you can follow up on the Medium article that I wrote last week so that you can read more about the technical aspect that we also want to help you think this is a right long-term approach. The second big theme is, can we think about wallet completely differently? Wallet is really like a DeFi portal. It's really like an NFT gallery, if not even a DAO, town square that we want you to know is the ultimate onboarding for users. Whether integrating with Web2 infrastructure and having all the components composable with Web3, we think that we have very unique wallet security called on-chain authentication that I want you to build with. I want you to research about, think about product completely differently. I want you to innovate in the on-chain space about social wallet, on-chain accounts and social recovery. The very last one, we call it a cross-border. We've been thinking about the cross-border, cross-border finance with fintech integration and all that, because it is where the social impacts will come in terms of like actual business, corporate finance, global payments for your payrolls. Many of the fun stuff is the last mile that we actually think is a great time to think about product that actually integrate with the real world use cases. So let me expand just a little bit on that. Many of these ideas is how I actually want to slot each of the builders into different tracks. So that each track would literally have $80,000, $100,000, $300,000 per each of these themes. And we have partner prices to help you think a little bit where you belong in the entire ecosystem. And honestly, I don't think it's just about Harmony Hackathon or Harmony middlewares that you're building, but actually it's really where the entire blockchain space has been innovating about. Most people would get into a community. Most people would actually think about one product they may use. But the interesting about blockchain is we're not even thinking about Harmony as a platform, but how we think about cross-chain that can use different stable coins from other chains and take liquidity from other chains and think about how to integrate with Web2 and Web3. That is exciting about to be part of this hackathon and community. In particular, we know liquidity should not be just sitting on one chain. It shouldn't even be on Bitcoin or Ethereum. Bitcoin obviously is the king of all the gateway where the first really is the gateway to get into blockchain. And Ethereum obviously is the DeFi innovation last year, but we do think that there will be more chains that we want to think about of a cross-chain API that help you think about aggregation, that want you help you think about how to unify and how to think about the same assets swaps. So we've been building API for that. We have our partner HarmonyBot that think about arbitrage very, very much with a 10,000 different traders thinking about how to build infrastructure and gateway API for that. And obviously, our partner Terra has been with a strong innovator in thinking about different fixed rate protocols that I think is going to be a really strong track if you have been following the DeFi space since last year. But there are far more cross-chain infrastructure. We call it the middlewares that you can think of. Whether indexing or having the names and identity, all the way to privacy as a mixer like Tornado is something that it become a very strong space that will be very useful if you're a tool builder. If you think about, I don't know what product may get traction now, we're only serving 100,000 users. Can you build infrastructure for even faster indexing and search today? It's going to be a very exciting thing of middlewares that I can think of. And then there's endless product you can build. Here we want to tell you a few components that we actually help you to be very easy to get started. We have full EVM compatibility with MetaMask and Web3 JavaScript library that you can start. So there's really no new language or new toolings that you have to worry about. But we have new features that can help you think about how it can be different. We have something called verifiable random function as a randomness OP code that you can use. Our bridge used the fly client architecture that has been in Zcash and quite a few even roll-up scheme that you can think about. We have aggregate signature that has been very innovative in the whole consensus protocol. Many of the things that you should actually think about even improving on, not about just application. That if you have a project that you are a researcher, whether you're a security engineer, feel free to even play with our current infrastructure. It's also my last point. Our platform is very unique in that we actually put lots of things in from the research perspective. What is the right long-term approach? Whether delegation, can it happen on-chain? Rather than just in a pool of a separate governance? Can the state sync happen in constant time, if not in constant space? Can the P2P gossiping protocol be completely radical? The broadcast platform has happened. They call it the like streaming as well as the encoding using RaptorQ. It's something we want you to be thinking quite radical that we've been playing for a few years now that you can both improve on but also build on. The next one, very exciting, is what we've been building for the last 6 months is something called the on-chain wallet. You guys may have heard of Argent as well as Loopbrain to do the social recovery. But what is interesting is there will be endless front end that we can think about the onboarding of users. The mobile clients that will be not just about integration, but about user acquisition that you can play with. And I think that's the fun part. We are always going to be the platform as a Harmony community, building the middlewares. We'll even provide the the smart contract for social recovery that many of the front ends can innovate about. Think about another Uniswap moment. Many of these wallets, the front ends or the smart contract or some of the authentication part may not be open source or on-chain. We want to make sure that everything is out in the open, both the development and research result and the contract, to make sure that you can fork and build your own community. What we want to make sure is this is the best research that's well audited, that you can build your business and project and the users around. In particular, we want to think about how to integrate with other Web3 components. As I mentioned, all the names, and now really coming to the innovation about the reputations, about your life moments, as well as maybe a conference NFT that can become the hub of DeFi, NFT, and the town square for DAO that all in one as a portal that you're building. For the Web 2, we still have a far way to go to link to Web 2, where each of them has 1 million users. Many of the social media have hundreds of million users. Can we think about the integration completely differently? That both the identity and the things that you do there and the community that already there, whether you children horse into it, whether you have integration that the user flow is very seamless, is what we want to think about a deep integration of Web 2. Obviously, there are many ways to do authentication when we think about your asset custodial. That whether it's the authentication for biometric, whether for because now you are at your home compared to someone completely remote that you've never been, the location that authenticating you based on your behavior, something about the security about the wallet should never been just about hardware or the seed phrases. It was an amazing innovation so that everyone can have their private key and think about security completely differently. But then there are far more innovation that we can do if we think about authentication as a more composable way of doing it on-chain. So we have been giving out many formal verification as well as cryptographic research bounties as well. That right now is also coming to the hackathon that you can take a very different approach to think about wallet security. And the last theme is really about the cross-border finance that we've been thinking about more than 2 years now. We know all the gateways with fiat and credit card that we actually partner with many of them, but the onboarding as well as integration is still very difficult. Can there be a JavaScript library that anyone would be as easy back in the day, PayPal and then Stripe API? I want the builders to come to think about that, right? We have all kinds of centralized exchange that have all kinds of API. Can you think about how all this will mean when now you're building an e-commerce business, when you have a different regional requirements? In particular, we have one track that just to think about corporate finance. We do know that it really finally come to the point that there are literally hundreds of projects, each with hundreds of teammates, employees, or just people actually being part of. And it's not just a one-time thing as a hackathon of bounties, but an ongoing thing, right? Can we even think about peer bonus? Can we even think about how to do accounting and tax per country? Something about like payrolls and benefits, if not all the way to insurance and medical benefits, is something that blockchain company thought they never have to think about. But then as the project mature and have more diverse like teammates, we do think the whole idea of being compliant, even auditable with all these project and respecting the privacy is always going to be a big theme for even the whole decade to come. We think that each regional will have special features. So we have one track just for that. We want you to showcase how your country, your community, your region will be different. We do know over-the-counter service for different stable coins, different retail shop. What about your local retail? Has to be something different that we want you to build product for. Whether the distributors and the commerce in the logistics, there can be a product that showcase now that we have different infrastructure for you. But last of all, we want to slot one last part in that we don't want us to forget. We build all this infrastructure for our users, for the impacts in their life. So we actually just publish a research paper on decentralized basic income that I will be tweeting out about today. The social changes and different mechanism design for these marketplaces is why things are interesting. There are lots of new things happening in the radical markets that both the Ethereum folks are very early on innovating. But as a matter of fact, that's why Cyberpunks and Bitcoin started. That I want us to have product, if not just even social experiment that you can think of to play with on our hackathon. But we have more story to tell in China of the DAO. To think about After this hackathon, and we will have more to come. Hopefully, there will be even bigger scale with different regional of events, physical events, and hopefully even topping up the 1 million prize and with more partners. But to think about how to sustain your effort and we'll align together to do far more for years to come is what DAO will be a great structure for us to think even today. We have more than $100 million in Harmony ecosystem. We can start 100 of DAOs to think how to work with each project of you, each community of us. The challenge is, can we build tools that can help scale any of these operations? Can we have the right mandate that tens of you, hundreds of you will become our governors and become contributor in a very fluid membership way, but also aligned in the impacts? We do think that many of these Ethereum ecosystem circle around DAO is really breaking out amazing since the last 2 years. We do know that many of them will face the same problem of both scaling beyond the Ethereum toolings, for sure the blockchain, but more thinking about what will be the cross-chain effort. As you guys know, Nodes Safe for multi-sig and Snapshot for voting are all supporting multi-chain now. We want to think about recurring bounties. Thousands of them we could call maybe with $1 million, so that there will be like fixed items that we want our builders to do. We know what needs to be done, but then there will be hackathons so that we bring in new ideas and new people. But there will be a DAO that many of you guys would stay together and actually build for years together. So initially we'll be funding with some of these DAOs, $1 million each. That hopefully they will come up with some strong mandates, maybe just three fitting into it, that actually will agree and come back like a constitution for a new country, that we have governors who start that immediately will pay them $75 per hour. We want it to be a sustainable effort, whether you're part-time for 5 hours, 20 hours, all the way to full-time. We want to think about election terms that are short enough to be of a really fast iteration, but long enough so that you know that these are the long-term effort that we want to do. And there are many tools that already that we have researched and but also be part of the community that you can use and improve and actually pour, if not actually be like thinking about for this hackathon, but also use for building your next project. In particular, like really having fundraising and content is really amazing about the contribution split now happening on Mira, Core Orden, Ape, with your community for performance review and peer bonus. And all this retrospective quadratic funding is really, really critical. That it was just a term, just a research paper a few years ago. Now it's everywhere that you can think how DAO can be completely different. So we already started a few DAO that I want to tell you about. The first one is called a research DAO, that it has become our slogan, bring the best research to production. That you really see the theme even in our hackathon, that whether our wallet and our consensus as well as our bridge is all built on the best research. Can we think about more cryptography with zero knowledge proof and privacy and really important for performance? Because these are the magic that actually people don't need to understand it, but research is not just an idea, but immediately in production, possible in months. So we are researcher and we want you to be part of it, want you to be productionalizing it, want you to be bringing it to production, to think about security and many more decentralization effort. I'm researcher in the security protocol as well as compilers. So I know that there must be better ways to think about smart contract security. Too many hacks, too hard to develop new application, too difficult to prove that even to unit tests and do more audits to know that your smart contract is correct. So we think there are fundamental new approach with type system, with COD and other mechanical verifier that can help you. In terms of decentralization, we're still thinking hard about what light clients can be, the state explosion in all chains, actually. There's a reason why Binance Smart Chain, they have a great start, but really think very hard now about how to think about the state now that you have so many transactions. Same thing with Polygon, if not very soon with Cosmo ecosystem, how to think about light clients as well as the state sync and the state compression is going to be a very hard problem that our research DAO will think and really think about the research engineering effort that we can do. But Wallet DAO is really my favorite this year because it brings everything together. Think about the wallet that your mom and your friends and people that actually don't need to know about cryptography, cryptocurrency or blockchain, but now you can tell them, go try this, use this. I call it the fearless wallet. It's really something that people in the engineering field and programming field may know about the Rust's fearless concurrency. It's really strange that Rust has only been about, I think, 8-9 years now, but really bring the concept of concurrency and memory safety and system programming on just one key idea. Can you think about from a fundamental approach to do system programming and here for wallet so that everyone can do it? In particular, create wealth in harmony is the recurring theme for us this year, that we want to have a broader idea to promote all these DeFi yields as well as basic income from all these staking protocols. That what would be the impact for these people if we actually can figure out a wallet that they can all try and use. We're coming up with different video campaigns to bring that to consumers. This is not just talking to each other on Twitter. It's not just about a few dashboard to show the total lockup value. This is really about telling them what the impacts that we can think of. In particular, the adoptions is going to come in when they finally understand they don't need a government or banks to think about the custody of their own asset. They don't need to worry about the password or hacks. I do worry about it every day for myself and the project and the foundation. What can be right asset, if not even an NFT, where to store them? Can millions of people not think about any of this security and even technology or blockchain, but benefit from it, is what this DAO should be about. One last one is our community DAO. Every community should have a DAO, but can we align them to do the same thing? In particular, we have been saying open consensus and radical fairness for a few years now. Can there really be something like even Edward Snowden to say stay free? Can there be a theme that unite a community together? We think that growth and engagement and the diversity and soliciting different voices and actually allowing everyone to participate is going to be a unifying theme all the way back to our name, actually, harmony, right? Everyone singing and doing different things, but actually creating a new economy and fairness and wealth in harmony. That this mission and culture is what we want to onboard our user and think about how blockchain can impact lives. We actually think whether creative campaigns, whether engaging them so that we actually work with different community is why blockchain is exciting. Well, here's the summary, right? I think you guys are ready to get started. I roll out all the reference and ideas both on my Twitter, but also a long form blog post. So come check us out. In particular, follow me on Twitter. I not only like to just have a few ideas. Sometimes I don't do long thread. I want a discussion there that engage with other people, but in particular, what you think, right? Follow me on Twitter. STSC is my ID. The new few ideas about bridge and wallet is something we've been talking about the last few months already, that you can see it from our roadmap for all the research and product and the traction that we have done so far. But the DAO is really what we have been finally spending a lot of time actually, going to events and conferences and forming new DAOs and bootstrapping with funding that I want you to be part of. As a matter of fact, we want each of the hackathon project and track to be part of some DAO with us. We still spend a lot of time innovating in the cross-chain finance, NFT, and digital arts. So come check out our products, but actually make it be part of our community. So this is it, except for one more bonus slide. We won't get too technical today, but I want to show you what matters. There are lots of strong understanding now why we need scalable solutions, but very few of us understand why different approach, what that means and how it works and why this is important. Just like why blockchain was important and why smart contract was an innovation, why proof of stake was an unquestionable approach to take. It was not clear a few years ago. Sharding is still being debated now. But roll-ups and bridge is very confusing now, and most people don't even know the right framework and terminology and research to look at. We've been spending more than a year on this now to think about what bridge can be the long-term approach, not just with Harmony, but like all chains. So you guys would probably know about different approach to this problem. I just want to leave you this slide and on my article that tell us what you think about different features and also aspect that is going to be critical for you to think about what will be the approach to actually bridge to all chains. That's what it should be. Hopefully not in a few years, but even in a few months and in coming years that will be possible so that we can all like build and innovate together. Well, thanks a lot today. That's all I have. Can't wait for you to tell us what you are building, and we'll love to engage you not just on Twitter, Discord, but in many more events to come that we'll host together. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, Stephen. That was a really great keynote. It was so informative. I'm super excited. My one action item is to go follow you on Twitter after this because I cannot wait to read the article you're putting out today. Thank you so much to the Harmony team. Right now, I think I'm going to go through. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. I know a lot of people are looking like they're excited to get started and to get building, which is something that I really love to see. Yeah, the comparison slide. I found the comparison slide to be very fascinating as well, Brian. It was really interesting to see just even the difference between the bridges between your bridge and Polygon's bridge that came out with similar time out at similar times yet have vastly different expectations. So I thought that was really a really informative presentation, and I can't wait to rewatch this again. So Peter, one of the questions that I personally have is if we can get the Harmony Discord put down in the chat too, so that people know how to reach out to the Harmony team if they have questions when they're starting with their projects. That would be super helpful. Let's see. Yeah, and they're saying any docs or anything like that. So maybe if there is a session in the future about getting started, that might be helpful for people to know about. You can always, join the hackathon. For those of you who are not yet registered, I'm going to drop the link in the chat here in a moment.
Yeah. Well, thank you again so much, Gloria and the Gitcoin team. We are here to help you guys to get started. Follow me on Twitter. I'm announcing the decentralized basic income paper, research paper today. Most of all, see you guys soon.
Yeah, I'm so excited to read this paper because that was a concept that someone brought up to my attention last month, and we were just talking about it. So it's really interesting to see how people are thinking about that. Thank you so much, Stephen, for taking time.
See you guys. Yeah.
Yes. So let's see if someone finds Stephen's Twitter handle, please drop it in the chat. And then let's see if there's any other questions. feel free to make teams. You can do that in either the Getcoin Discord, or I'm sure the Discord for Harmony will be available as well, but you can also do that in Town Square. And with that, I don't see really any questions. Let's see. The only question I have is in the chat. It says, apart from this hackathon, is there any plan for an ETA on EIP 1559 on Harmony?
I don't know. Let me get with our developers. They definitely will have an answer for that.
That's totally fine. Okay, great. So it sounds like that would be a good question, for a Discord one. Let's see. If the hackathon is a success, will there be a next one? When will the next one be? Well, I know that this is, I think, the fourth hackathon that you've run with Getcoin, so they seem to be somewhat back to back.
Yeah, I think one of Harmony's goals is to really grow our developer ecosystem, and hackathon as an event is one of those things that we're going to be doing continually. And so it's not a one and done thing. This is a thing that we're going to be doing for a long time. And it really accomplishes several purposes. One of the main purposes is it helps to grow applications on Harmony, usage of Harmony, transactions on Harmony, and it brings a lot of developer awareness. Right now, the majority of the developers are not on blockchain, and of the developers in blockchain, they're mainly on Ethereum. And so our job is to help bring awareness to Harmony to developers and help developers understand that there are some applications that make sense to build on Harmony versus another chain. And because we have this bridge to Ethereum and to Binance Smart Chain, and we are building bridges to other chains, we want to become a key player in this future of the multi-chain verse. And so that's one of the key kind of value propositions that we have. We have over $100 million locked on our bridge right now. What that means for developers is that these are assets that people have bridged from Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain to Harmony. And that just continues to grow. And so you'd have to ask, why would they bridge any of their assets to Harmony? Well, because they can earn yield on Harmony, they can participate in other applications that are on Harmony, and they can go back and settle on their home bridge, whatever that is, Binance Smart Chain or Ethereum. And so we want people to participate. We want Harmony to be part of this kind of broader multi-chain verse.
Yeah, and I think for me, like the thing with Harmony is like whenever you're choosing a community to build with, it is the people that are there and building with you. And I feel like at least through the last year, as from watching y'all's hackathons and watching them grow, it's been really great.
Looks like we lost Gloria.
No.
Oh, there you are.
I'm sorry if you did lose me. I was saying I have a question from Felipe. It says, I'm a developer, but don't have a traditional finance background. Is traditional finance background mandatory? I don't think it is for this one.
No, this hackathon is completely inclusive. In fact, there was another question from another participant that asked, they're a new developer, they don't have much experience in coding, can they participate? The answer is yes. We want everybody to participate. The only requirement is, can you add value? Join, register on Gitcoin, find a way to add value, form a team or join a team, add value to the team. Everybody is welcome. And so what that means is that regardless of your background, you can come from a developer background, a design background, project management background, whatever. We want you to participate. We're inclusive. We invite everybody. The only criteria is make sure you can add value. And I'm sure that you and your team will be able to come up with something really interesting and helpful.
And I think sometimes people, like when you think of adding value with finance or fintech or blockchain in general, I think people don't even realize too, like sometimes the adding value is your perspective from your community on like the pain points that you have there and how like your solution that you're creating can like alleviate some of the pain points. And we see that a lot with projects from different countries, and so I think that just even having your don't undervalue your perspective alone, because finance is something that we all deal with and we all have pain points, and just overcoming those pain points would be hugely a vast improvement. So
yeah, totally agree.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's see if there's any other questions there. If not, you can continue to ask questions on Discord. I know the Harmony team is more than happy to help you out. If you have questions that the GetCoin team needs to help you out with, feel free to reach out to us there or reach out to us on Town Square as well. And with that, I'll see, Peter, is there any last things that you want to let them all know?
Yeah, just make sure everybody registers on GetCoin, and we'll be sending out communication via Town Square, as well as on our Discord, and follow us on Twitter. And excited to help all the developers and participants of this hackathon be successful. That's our job, is to help you be successful. And so if you guys are successful, then Harmony is successful. And so you can count on us to be on your side, and we've got your back.
Awesome. Yes, I'm extremely excited for this. I came from the fintech space, and then now I'm in the blockchain space. So I'm excited to see all the projects we all come up with. With that, happy hacking. And if you need anything, please feel free to reach out. All right, y'all. I hope you have a great session. And we'll talk soon. We'll see you again.
Okay. Thanks, Gloria.